My name is Jude, brand partnerships consultant here at Teeka4, and you're welcome to the Glow and Grow webinar, where we'll be taking you through building scalable beauty businesses in Nigeria. All right. So very quickly, I would just like to share. I mean, um, a huge part of why we started this campaign was around storytelling and amplifying the stories of some of the very incredible women who have done great feats across different industries, from beauty, fashion, hospitality, and so just to kickstart this, I would like to just play the trailer of our campaign. So you can see that before we kickstart our webinar officially.
My parents just could not read how I spent almost 6, 7 years in school. And then I said it was yogurt that I wanted to do. It just did not make sense.
My life has been filled with a lot of oddities that have brought me to where I am right now.
Now, when you're solving a problem, you bring value to the table. And when you bring value, you can charge for the value.
Have a structure. Not everything that goes into your account is meant for you. There was a day my dad said to me, I didn't send you to school to go and be a makeup artist to all these hair things you're doing.
The harder a task is, the better for you.
I remember the conversation I was having with an investor raising funds, and he asked me a very funny question. He said, Ife, are you married? So I said, yeah, I'm married. Do you have kids? I said, yes, I have 2 of them. And he's like, so how are you going to manage this? And I thought, you would never ask a married man this.
My name is Funke Bokno Brute.
My name is Banke Mishidolawal.
Ifeoluwa Dare Johnson.
Buma Dave.
Chidima Uzoma.
Olakunbi Uzochukwu.
When she glows,
She grows.
All right. I guess we can officially start now. Thank you so much. If you're here, if you watched this video, then you know this video officially kickstarted the campaign for the She Glows, She Grows, a campaign spearheaded by Teeka4 and Paystack to amplify the stories of very excellent women who are doing great things in different industries and also inspire the next generation to follow the blueprints of these very successful women and also recreate very successful stories. And that better this initiative we have here, which will be a webinar on how to scale a beauty business in Nigeria and beyond. And to kickstart this, I'll be introducing from the Paystack team, Nefe, the business lead at Paystack, who would be taking us through some of the core fundamentals around payments and infrastructure and how to set up as a business infrastructure-wise. And after that, I'll be briefly taking you over building a scalable business in Nigeria, especially in the beauty industry. I'll take you over some of the common mistakes businesses make and what affects them when scaling, and some of the best practices around building a successful business in this industry. So I'll hand over to my co-hosts. Hi, Nefe.
Hey. Hello, Jude. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. As Jude said, my name is Nefe. I'm business lead at Paystack. I mainly look after our e-commerce businesses, also education and healthcare. And previously, I led a lot of our expansion efforts into different countries. So I'm very excited to be here. I know there are quite a few of us on the webinar today, but only 4 people have introduced themselves. And I feel like we can do better than that. So if you haven't already, please go in the comments. Just give us your name, where you're from, what you do, anything that helps us identify you. And just encourage you to be very interactive. I'm sure you're not here at 11 a.m. in the middle of a workday to be a passive participant. So I'm going to ask a few questions as well because I want your input, and I just encourage you to please put them in the comments. Now, before I jump into how Paystack wants to help people grow their businesses, I'm going to give very unsolicited advice. So I'm a firstborn, and that's what we do. So naturally, that's what I'll be doing today. And it's kind of a prelude to the stuff Jude will be talking to you about, but I'll just keep it very short and quick because I've been supporting a lot of startups in my over 4 years at Paystack, and even prior to Paystack as well, when I worked in VC. And these are just some things that I feel like everyone needs to know when they're trying to start out. So very, very quickly, when you're setting up a proper business infrastructure, if I had to pick wow, see why I need help, and you guys need to be in the comments. If I could pick 3 top things, they would be legalities and registration as the first one. I am a child of lawyers, so maybe there's some personal bias here, but I have also seen firsthand how just not setting up right from the beginning can be quite painful. And I'm sure Jude can talk to you about that as well. So, just legally register with CAC, get all the permits and licenses you need. A lot of us are in the beauty industry here. So, whatever permission you need from NAFDAC, just do the right thing so that your brand has prestige from the beginning, and no one is doubting the kind of products that you are producing. Financial systems, I would definitely talk about this, but having clear financial records just really helps. I mean, all my time of supporting startups, this is one of the pitfalls that just leads to people shutting down way earlier than they should, or shutting down when they shouldn't at all. It's just not having a lot of finances in place to know how your business is doing and know when your business needs support. And then lastly is on the operations. A lot of us are just go-getters. We just get up and we do what we need to do every day, and we don't necessarily build a process that allows us to scale because we're just doing everything all the time. And it can slow down things to document processes, but it always helps in the long run. Because when you hire more people, you've set something for them to follow, and then you can replicate that across multiple businesses or even countries. So that's just something to keep in mind. Some common mistakes that I also see happen is people just want to be everything to everyone. So it's like, oh, I want to be a beauty person. You just produce everything. It's always good to know who your target audience is. And they will come to you. Because if you can dilute your marketing efforts by not having a clear message of who you're talking to. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, poor financial management. And this can even include underpricing. Sometimes some people just want to go low from the beginning so they can attract people. Know your worth. You saw it in the video when Fuke Bakro said, if you add value, you can charge for that value. So believe in yourself and charge accordingly, and you will attract the right people. But also, be worth it. Don't produce a shoddy product and then charge for it because Nefe and Fuke said you should charge. And definitely do your market research and respond positively. A reason why a lot of businesses fail is because you have a product that you want and you want to force people to use that product. It doesn't work. You always need to build what people want. And if they're not responding to it, you need to adapt. And you should be building something 100 people love, not what 1,000 people like. Because those 100 people that love you will keep using you. The 1,000 people will go to the next best thing because they're not that committed to your product. And then lastly, this is a lot easier said than done. But when we're starting off, we have the tendency to just depend on one supplier, one vendor, one logistics company, because it just makes things easier. But depending on how crucial they are, they can halt your operations completely. So there are a lot of big brands now, like if you even talk to Dialab or something, they'll tell you that was one of the issues that they had with production in the early days, and they really just had to diversify and find at least one other person. It's always important to have a backup. I spoke about NAFDAC earlier. It's honestly just worth doing the right thing from the beginning. Neglecting NAFDAC registration for cosmetic product can lead to fines, your products being seized, and if that enters the news or people find out, you unnecessarily lose credibility. So just do the right thing from the beginning. And lastly, and I say this as someone that has led expansion, sometimes expanding too quickly can be a downfall. People do really well in Lagos or Nigeria and just immediately start to expand, and they don't have the infrastructure in place. They've not done research on where to expand to too quickly, and you crumble in the new market and end up crumbling at home. So you need to be very systematic with how you think about all of that. So that's my unsolicited advice for the day. I can see people are still introducing themselves in the chat. Thank you guys. Keep them coming. Keep connecting with each other. And I will now go very quickly into how Paystack can support you. So Paystack's mission is to power African ambition. And we do that in a few ways. And I will talk to you about how that works. So firstly, I want to point out this brand. that I presume many people know. The famous cocktails that have helped a lot of us through COVID and beyond. You see them at weddings, you see them at parties, you see them in people's freezers. Now, when people think about Paystack and payments and technology, you think you need to be able to code, you need a developer to build your site, and so on and so forth. But actually, one of the things that Paystack has done is build no-code solutions like this Paystack storefront to help you build a website and have credibility without needing a developer, and it's free. So yes, some people use Shopify, some people use Wix, and so on and so forth, and we definitely encourage those as well. But for when you're starting out, we want to make it a little bit easier for you to set up. So I'm going to walk you through a quick example of someone who is just setting up and is using Paystack storefronts, and then I'll show you how you can do it yourself, and we'll open it up to questions after. So feel free to also put your questions in the comments. We'll answer those as we go along. So this is a company called Buttercup Naturals. And, they build things for hair, skin, and basically hair and skin products. This is the aesthetic they chose to go for. It's a complete coincidence that the two examples I showed have yellow backgrounds. We do have other colors available, and I'll show that to you. Maybe this has something to do with me always wanting to be Yellow Ranger when I was a child. But here you can come in and you just click on their product, put some descriptions about what your product is, the ingredients, because that's very important. A lot of us are in the beauty space. People are putting things on their skin, on their hair that's absorbed into their body. It's very important for them to know what it is. And also it's important for them to know how to use it. You can add as many as you want. A feature that I really like is contact seller. I know that a lot of us, as we're building out our brands, we also want to build a community, and we want to be reachable by our customers so we can get info and feedback from them. And this particular person has put email. You can add other things that you want. You can put your WhatsApp number if they want to have additional questions before coming back to complete the payment. That is completely fine. Then you add it to bag and you come to the checkout. So you can put if it's a gift if you want, and just put the address, delivery notes, handle with care, continue to pay. Okay, so now you see all the information here and they can go on and pay. For those of you running discounts, you can do that. And let me explain why this is beneficial for business builders as yourselves. Typically, what we've seen as we've been helping people expand is before, maybe a lot of you sell via WhatsApp or Instagram and then you send money by transfer. But then what happens if you have an international clientele, which we are all trying to do? We're trying to take our businesses as globally as possible. Or also, what if the person's bank is down? I will not mention any names, GTB. Their bank is always down and, transfers aren't able to be done. So that's why we have these options here that just allow you capture as many different customers as possible. So Vault is where you can put in all your cards and all your bank accounts in one place. So you can come in here and play it in one go if you want. There's card as well, local or international cards. Like I said, if you have an international clientele, this is important. If I was doing this on my phone and I was an international person, I would even have Apple Pay, which is also very beneficial. You have transfers, which is obviously now the most popular way of making payments in Nigeria. You can pay with bank, Carbon, OPay, Pockets, whatever it is, USSD, Visa, QR. So it means no matter how anyone wants to pay you, the option is there. If one payment method is down, they will automatically be asked to use another one. And it just reduces the number of abandoned transactions you have, because whether there's a downtime, we solve for it. And you also have all the payment methods available so people can pay you accordingly. So that's just something that can be done. And another feature that is my personal favorite is let someone pay for you. Now, rumor has it that Friday, I believe, is National Girlfriend's Day. This comes in very handy. You don't want your boyfriend or whoever to go out and buy something that you don't want. So you can select what you want already, copy the link, send it to them via WhatsApp. They make the payment and it will recover here. So I'm not going to take us through to the end, but just showing how this can really help your business. So this is what your customer will see. Good, clean face. It gives you credibility. You have a nice website. They can interact with you. They learn more about your product. They can specify what they want and so on and so forth. It's perfect. Now, what does that look on the inside with Paystack on your dashboard? So I am presuming that people here do not use Paystack. I'm so sorry. My internet is on 1 today, so you're going to have to bear with me. There we go. Okay. So if and when you sign up on Paystack, this is like the motherboard. This is your dashboard where your business is being run. And this is where you need to pay very, very close attention. I saw someone comment about Boyfriend's Day. I don't know when it is, but you can find out and we'll do something about that. But yeah, so I'll just take it from, I will start first with how to set up the storefront that we just saw, just so you can see how quick and easy it is. And then I'll talk you through how you can actually manage your business. And if you're not smiling by the time I'm done, I'll give you a prize for girlfriend or boyfriend's day. Nobody share my contact info. Okay, so this would be a dashboard and you come here for storefronts. As you can see, one person can have multiple storefronts. It's up to you. So you can experiment as you please. But let's set up a new one. Can someone put in the chat, what do we want our storefront to be called? Just give me a name. Fastest fingers. No one? Are we that on creative? Isn't everyone on this page a creative? Okay. Since we have no takers, boo, you guys are boring. Okay, Simi, there we go. Thank you, Larto. Prize number 1. Okay, so Simi is going to be selling in Nigeria in NGN. The store is going to be called, do we want to keep it Simi, or for emphasis, should we add a couple of I's so people get excited? Let's do that. So we created, this is basically already live. Now we have some pre-products that have already been put in the past. However, if you want a new product, because this is brand new, so it's Simi Sims maybe. What is this? Simi, what do you do? I want to say so clothes. Best. What do you call? Ready to wear fits in Lagos. Oh, diamonds. Wow. Okay. Diamonds, baby. All right. So that is our description. And because it's diamonds, we're selling one for 100 million naira. I hope I don't break the system by doing this. Okay. And then how many? Diamonds are limited, right? So let's make it limited and just say one. One special person. Okay, no, two. Two special people can get this. We have the option to put more than one physical good. So if you remember the example here, this one was 2. So this is when you will select that option, because some people sell things as bundles. So that's perfect. Like imagine selling a hamper and one product is the entire hamper, which has multiple products inside. So that's when you will select something like this. Okay, so moving on. I don't have a picture of a diamond ready to go, so I'm just going to pick something that I hope is safe for work. God, I beg. Okay, it's just a picture of me looking into space. Fantastic. Save, and here we have it. So this is our product. You can add as many products. As you can see, this example here, she has 5 products for now, just to save time. And this is, purely for demo purposes. We have just 1 product here. So let's come back to our storefront, open Simi, and you can actually already preview what people will see when they look at your sites. Okay. So if we come back here, You'll be able to look at all your orders here. This is one of the products that we have. And this is where you can now do customizations. So don't take notes aggressively because as you can see, when you come here, it will guide you every step of the way. We also have a user manual that shows you how to set up. Bella will share the link shortly in the chat as well. So you can use that. So what color should we make this? Are we okay with purple or do we want something else? If you guys leave me, I will pick yellow again. So this is the time to say what you want. I'm known to be a dictator and I'm being very nice right now. Okay, we love the purple, so let's keep it. So status is on. You can edit the link if you want, but let's keep it at this. Welcome message, because you know we're all polite, we're raised well, so we always want to welcome people when we come. Welcome to a new dispensation. Just bear with me. I'm not feeling that well today, and I feel like the drugs are making me a bit funny. Okay, and then about your business, we are the best of the best. I hope everybody here is way more humble than this, but you know, you can put all your descriptions there. You can put the email that you want people to reach you at, and you can put your social media link as well, which is fantastic. So you can add your Instagram page here or your TikTok page, whatever you want. And then you can add custom fields that will be mandatory for people to fill. So up to you. Okay. So what else can we do? We can add discount codes. So, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend day, put a discount code that you want people to be able to use. And then if you deliver as well, you can make that a requirement. So they have to put a delivery option. You can make it compulsory for them to put a delivery note. You can disable it as you please. So if you're putting required, you can add your delivery fee. So I'm sure you saw when I was in the basket here, and so you can always come back to the basket. There were a lot of options put in for shipping. So that's where you would put all of this. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to disable this. And another cool feature is after purchase, you can redirect them. So after they've paid, maybe you're running a promo, maybe you want to show your Instagram site, your TikTok page, whatever that is, you can add that here. So it sends them straight to that site and you can put a success message. So, you know, you can say, thank you so much. You're the best. And then you can put a link to whatever your IG handle is, save, and then it will redirect them when they are done. So that's it. Honestly, quick and easy. Your page is here and diamonds, you know, the price, and we move on. Also, what is interesting is it shows when you're running out of stock. So as you can see, I tried to buy 3 here and it showed the person, hey, there's only 1 in stock. So they were able to adjust accordingly. So that's another cool feature that it has. It will also tell you on the back end as well when you are running out of stock. So when you come here, it says 2 in stock because I didn't buy any. But if your customer actually bought some, it will show you how many is left. So it does a little inventory management light, because remember, all of this is free because we give you this site for free. We just charge a percentage on the transaction. But we do our best to make it as functional as possible to really help your needs. Okay, so now that we know how to set it up and what your customers will see, let's get to the exciting bit of how you now actually manage your business. So here you will see all the transactions for anyone that has ever bought anything from you. You can check for this month, the day, custom. You can even see like the accounts of the people that are settling you. And you can filter by status. So maybe you want to look at abandoned transactions to see like, you know, to do any analytics on whatever trend might be happening. You can put all of that, you can filter and look at it here, and then you can go in and just see like, okay, they didn't complete their transaction. Fine, you can reach out to them directly to find out why. For the successful transactions, you can even just take a look and, oops, sorry, give me a sec. My internet is not in the mood today and I am forcing it, so please forgive me. Let's show all. Okay, so even this transaction that failed, you can literally walk through the process and see what happened. You can see how long they spent on your checkout page. the fact that they tried paying with card and ultimately, there was no token generated, so they couldn't do it. So you know when it's like the bank's fault, whether it's a customer's error, and then you can just reach out to them to try again, for example. So that's just something that can be done, or transactions. Something else that can be done is you get all your customers' information here. Now, this is great because if you're having a discount, if you're having like a promo, you can reach out to all your customers. You can download their information into an Excel file, copy their emails, and just maintain that mailing list that way. Let them know when you're running any kind of promo or having any events or anything like that. For those of you that maybe have older clientele, you can add your customers manually. So just put their name, number, email, phone number, just so that this is still like a repository of information. Something else that you can do is manage your refunds. So these are some refunds that have been done recently. So let's say a customer reaches out to you, and I know we don't particularly like this, but at the end of the day, we're selling physical goods, and sometimes people will refund them. And that's okay. We make that easy for you as well. So you put in the transaction reference, or check the customer's name to find the specific order. You can come in here and just go to refunds. There's been no refund attempt. You go new refunds. And what's great about this is you can do partial refunds. So let's say someone ordered a top and a blouse, and let's say they ordered the 2 diamonds and they want to return one because actually they decided, I'm not proposing to 2 of my girlfriends today, I'm only proposing to 1. You can do a partial refund and just refund the other half. Confirm it and it goes through, and you can manage it straight from there. You'll see it come up here. And if for whatever reason one of your refunds failed, you'll get this pop-up where it will tell you to just come and try again. This will have where we have settled you for all the transactions that we've helped you collect. So we've helped you collect money from all your customers. We will then pay it to you, and you can follow all of it here on a daily basis. Now, another thing that you can handle from this dashboard, can you see how powerful this dashboard is so far? Is disputes. I know nobody likes disputes, not us as payment providers, not you guys as business owners, but alas, this is where we find ourselves. So disputes are split into 2 categories. One is fraud, which is when maybe somebody's card was stolen and used to make a purchase. So the original owner has reported to their bank, and therefore we need to figure out what's going on. Or a chargeback, which is where value wasn't provided. So maybe you sent something out, but your dispatch rider took it, so they didn't get it, and you need to give them a refund. Those are the 2 categories that are here, and you just manage it from here. This is very, very, very important because the banks aim to protect the customer, and they give you a very short timeline to respond to all of these claims. So you have to make sure that when you're running your business, you're paying very close attention to your dashboard. Also, we normally ask for a different email for disputes, because if it's the same email that is receiving all your orders and everything, it can be hard to monitor. So we always ask for a separate email that is dispute, so you know that if something comes into that email, it's important and needs to be responded to within hours, and you can pay attention to it. And all of that is managed from here. So literally your entire business, you can just kind of pay attention to it here and know that this is where it's being run from, and it's just making your operations cleaner. Now, another feature that people really like is transaction splits. So it takes a village. We all have people that we work with. And let's say maybe you're a cosmetic shop that sells, let's say you're like a Med Plus or someone that you sell other people's products as well as your own, or you sell other people's products. So for every transaction for every sale that you do for that person's products, you guys split it. You can set that up here so it's automatic. So once the transaction goes, you take your 90%, you give them 10, or however you guys decide to do it, 50-50. It's done automatically, so you don't have to think about it. You just set up a new group, put the name, Simi and someone else. I'm just going to pick a random name from the group. So this is like a Simi Vivian split. Wow, I can't spell. Choose the currency. It can be percentage or flat. So maybe you're just saying, okay, I'm taking 100 Naira every time, or is it percentage split? and you have the group, you put it up there, you add the person's accounts so that the system knows who it's sending it to. You decide how you're going to split it, and all is done and well in the world. And this is where you see all the different accounts that you're splitting with, because obviously you probably have multiple relationships, so you can see all of them here. So if you need to update or delete anyone, you can do that from here. And then something else that I want to talk about that is really exciting is our terminals, because a lot of you are not only selling online, you might have shops and you want to sell in person, and we have 2 in-person products to help you. And I will show you exactly what they are. So we have our virtual terminal, which I think we're all used to seeing, when you see the account number. But the good thing with the Paystack one is we have a QR code as well that will show you all the online options that you get. So someone can still pay with you on Apple Pay, transfer, cards, whatever it is. And we have the physical one as well. So the great thing about this is whether people pay you online or in person, you get to see everything directly on your dashboard. And it is, sorry, I've opened too many tabs now. You get to see everything directly on your dashboard here in transactions, and it's great because it makes your reconciliation life so much easier, because no matter where people are paying you, it's all on here. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of how it works. Oh, wait, you guys can't hear the audio? Oh, dear. Sorry, I'm just seeing comments that you can't hear the audio. That's really strange. Let's try again. Can you guys hear now? Can you guys hear the audio? Okay, I'm not sure why you guys can't hear it. Bella, are you able to play the link from your side, please? Sorry, just give us a second. My audio should be connected, but it doesn't seem to be working.
Hey, I'm here to tell you about Paystack Virtual Terminal. It solves many of the problems that business owners face, especially around bank transfers. Almost a third of all in-person payments happen via bank transfer, but it can be difficult for businesses to accept transfers at scale. Sometimes the attendant might not have the required access to confirm that the transfer was successful. They might have to check with a manager. If the manager is unavailable, both the customer and the attendant have to wait until the payment can be confirmed. Paystack Virtual Terminal solves this by giving you an account number. With Virtual Terminal, you can give each staff member a virtual terminal account number that you control. So when the members of this gym want to grab a yummy protein shake after their workout session, they'll see the account number, do the bank transfer, and voila! The store attendant gets an instant notification via WhatsApp, and the customers can be on their merry way. so no need to call the store manager for confirmation. The store manager can monitor all payments coming in real time through the Paystack dashboard and the mobile app for easy reconciliation. So don't miss out on sales. Grow your business with a delightful in-person payment experience and keep your customers coming back with Paystack Virtual Terminal. To learn more, go to paystack.com/terminal.
Okay, can we hear me? Awesome. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Don't really know what happened there. Okay, so you've seen how virtual terminal works. And you can print as many as you want. You can add up to 5 WhatsApp numbers for each one. And some people even put them as small lanyards, so anybody can pay you anywhere. Maybe you're standing at the bus stop and someone wants to pay you for something, you can just show it to them. We've seen people use it in very, very incredible ways. It's actually really exciting, and it just makes your business so much easier to manage. Then we also have physical terminal, which is the regular POS that we are used to, but the Paystack one is pretty cool because it's an Android device, so you can build your app on it. It accepts tap to pay, and it also accepts international cards. So since we've decided my audio is not working, I'm not going to try again this time. I'll just show you how one business quickly uses our physical terminal. So Bella, if you could just play that, please.
So Burger King is finally launching in Nigeria, Africa's most populous country. One thing that we really wanted to do was to make sure that our customers are able to pay easily.
Burger King is a global brand. We have more than 18,000 restaurants around the world. So we wanted an exceptional payments partner.
We wanted that, people wouldn't come into the restaurants and there's queues everywhere. And yeah, we decided to partner with Paystack.
Having a self-service kiosk, which Burger King is bringing into Nigeria, is the first experience here in Nigeria. We've partnered with Pyramid on the hardware part for the self-service kiosk, and we've also partnered with Paystack for payment terminals so customers can pay their way.
Terminal is more than just a POS. It's this thing that brings visibility into your business.
It gives you the ability to create unique experiences and custom payment collection flows for your customers.
You can have your inventory management system or your hospital management system now talk to your POS. So your finance team is super excited because now it's so much easier to reconcile all their transactions. It's just a better way to do business.
Burger King was a really good opportunity for us to showcase what Terminal could do. Place your order, put in your card, put in your PIN, and make a payment. It's self-service, it's seamless.
We really can't wait for customers to interface directly with the system.
We promise our customer that we will deliver them great flame grill burgers and they can pay their way.
So Paystack is helping us achieve that. And we really just can't wait for customers to experience that in store.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that, Bella. I know that one is a bit more of a technical product, but from what I'm seeing in the chat, we have quite a wide variation of the sizes and kinds of businesses we have here. But I will go back to kind of focusing on what we're doing if you don't have a big tech team and you still want to get started, have that credibility and just have things set up properly from the get-go. So I know I've been talking a lot. To be pleased to know I'm almost done. But another thing that is very exciting that you can also manage from your dashboard is subscriptions. So depending on the kind of business you are, maybe you have people that need to pay you monthly. So for example, there's some people that are doing cosmetic treatments that maybe, it's a monthly affair or a weekly affair. And rather than having to manually go and remind your customer, hey, it's time to make a payment for this next treatment, you can automate that from the beginning. You just come here, set up the plan, how often they need to pay you. Like we can even do hourly payments. I don't know what kind of business needs that, but we have it available just in case. Everything through up until annually, and it will just deduct their card when the time is right. So it's automated, it's easy for you, it's easy for the customer. And we even have another payment called direct debit that we can use if you want to charge their account rather than their card. And then you just have all the subscriptions needed here. So you manage it directly as needed. We've talked a lot about how to collect money on your behalf. We can also help you send money. So some of you are working with a lot of vendors and maybe the transaction splits doesn't work because the agreements you have is not per transaction. It's more a fixed amount that you're paying at the end of the month or whatever. We can do that for you, and we can do bulk payments. You can pay over 1,000 people at the same time. And in less than a minute, everybody will get their money. You just upload the Excel file. We'll show you the formats that you need to use. We have a user manual for that will be posted in the chat, and then you just send it and you go on your merry way. You top up your balance first and you send your money. So this is where you top up how much you want to pay out, you pay out, and all is well in the world. And then under here is right back to what I was saying. So this is where we began with storefronts. We have other products as well, because some of you maybe you're just trying it out. You don't know if you want to have like a full site for people to come to. Maybe you just have one product or one service. That's okay. So we have payment page for that, where it's just one product or one service. So you don't need like a whole fancy site. You just want a link, let people pay you and be on your way. We understand that, and that's fine. And you just come here, new payment page. It can be a one-time payment. Maybe you're doing someone a favor, one time, one-off offer. You just send them that link, they pay you, everyone moves on. This is the subscription payment that I just described that you can do as well. Just have like one link that you send to everyone for recurring payments. And then we have product payments. So remember our product that we created, the diamond one, you can use that as well. So just choose it, pick the product that you want, and you send that link to everyone. So rather than having like the whole storefronts page, it's the product page that you're now just sending to everybody. So everybody's coming straight to this product and paying for this product. So anyone that has that link can pay for that particular product. And then the very last thing is invoices. Some of you want to be able to invoice for your service. Some of your customers ask for invoices because maybe they need to expense it to their office or something like that. We have that option. So you can have like a professional one where you add your tax info because we're all obedient and we're all paying our taxes. You put their email, you put their currency. You can even add more fields if you want, and you just send it to them. It will go to their email, or you can copy the link and share it to them. You will occasionally get some people that maybe want to pay you in person because they want to feel and touch what you're selling. That's fine. You can come here and mark as paid. So the idea is no matter where people are paying you, how they want to pay you, you can just manage everything from one place. You're not going all over the place trying to figure things out. And yeah, essentially that is it. So that is what we offer you. That's just some of the payment stuff to get you ready. If you come to paystack.com/commerce, you see all the different no-code tools that we have. So, and you can come here, it will show you how to sign up on the dashboard. So you don't need a developer, you don't need to pay Shopify yet. And obviously this is not, we support growth. So I don't know how many of you know Shop Reina, the jewelry store. They started on storefronts and then graduated to their own site. We encourage that. This is just to help you get set up really easily while you do your proof of concept. And when you graduate to a new site, we love that. Just, have Paystack process your transactions there. But all of that is just absolutely available for you to use. So I know I've spoken a lot. I will stop there for questions. So please put your questions in the chat and we will answer them. No questions. Wow. Was my explanation that good? Thank you, Oyster Sark. Oh, your name is Sark and you work at a company called Oyster. Thank you. I'm glad you found it as a smooth walkthrough. Okay, so I will hand back over to a man of the hour, Jude. If you have questions, if we have time, we'll come to them at the end. So just put them in the comments chat. But Jude, back to you.
All right, all right. Good morning again, everyone. That's a very powerful presentation by our friends at Paystack, Nefe. Very great one there. So, very quickly, before I start, Nefe has taken us all through the core parts of accepting payments, the commercial parts, how to get your money from the customers, how to pay out money. But I'm going to go over the core fundamentals of building your company into a system. That means before you even start collecting money, what do you need to do? And when you're collecting money, how do you scale that? So I'll just start with a very brief introduction on what a beauty business is, because that would build into most of the things we get to talk about. A beauty business literally just encompasses any enterprise that provides products or services related to personal care, grooming, and enhancing appearance. So this includes a wide range of offerings, from selling cosmetics and skincare products to providing salon services like hairstyling, manicures, makeup application. So essentially, it's any business focused on helping people look and feel better. So from what a beauty business is defined as, you can tell that a beauty business sells confidence. And what makes you feel better makes you feel more confident. And now we'll go over why do businesses fail to scale. Most businesses fail to scale not because the idea is bad, not because people don't buy products, not because they sell the wrong products, but because the system to deliver it was never built. And in Nigeria, most of the times people think they fail because we just don't have great marketing. We just don't. A lot of people don't know about our company. We don't know about my small store that I'm selling. But you don't fail because your marketing isn't good. You fail because your back end is broken. And if you break that down, they say like you struggle at marketing when you fail at products. And for a beauty business, the product is never really like the skincare product you sell or the makeup or whatever. The product is the experience around people coming to your company. What's the experience around shopping from your company? That's the actual product. So we'll talk about how to build businesses and build systems. So too many people are building hustle. They're building side hustles, building a small business, and they're not thinking in long term in terms of like building a company. And that's one thing we often try to advise people. We do have a very strong wholesaler community where we try to provide as many resources as possible to help businesses also scale and grow better. And the truth is, you can't scale chaos. You can't delegate vibes. Some businesses like just walk around the founder of the business, but when you build a system, now you can say you can scale the system. What we've learned at Teeka4 through every order, through every failed courier, through every late night DM is this: if you want your business to grow beyond you, you need more than a good product. You need your company needs to operate like a machine. You need a system. And so my next slide, I'll go over why systems matter. Now, customers expect speed, they expect structure, and they expect trust. If you're in Nigeria, you know as soon as you order products, you're expecting, people are very impatient with e-commerce. They're expecting as soon as you order in the next 1 to 3 hours, people should the product should come through like a dispatcher to your doorstep. And sometimes it's just not that simple. People also expect your business is supposed to have the same structure as a large organization in terms of when they place an order, they're expecting it to move from that phase to the next phase of order processing, payment confirmation, going into order fulfillment, and then getting to their doorstep. And people also, customers expect trust. They want to trust you. And how do they trust you? They trust a business that is predictable. if I go to say like Jumia or Konga or whatever e-commerce store I want to shop at today, and I go there to buy certain products, and I get it in 6 hours, and I go there next week and I shop again and I get it in 6 hours. Once this is constant, once I can predict the outcome of my experience with this business, now I trust the business. But if I order today and I get it in 24 hours, and next week it takes me 3 days to get it, and the upper week it takes me 3 hours, now I don't trust the business because I don't know what to expect. Another part of why systems matter is wholesalers and retailers work with processes, not guesswork. So you need to identify what is the actual process of your business, because every business has a unique process flow. I'll break some of these down. Also, feel free to drop comments in the chat on things you would like me to address. And then finally, why systems matter also: structured businesses, not side hustles, scale. So you see some businesses that do good numbers, but they're just unable to grow beyond the current numbers that they do. So I'll take you through also around building a brand promise that sticks. So first of all, when I'm talking about building systems, most people think about it in terms of sales. That systems are just the things that are required to enable you get more customers and get more money. That's untrue. Just to clarify that, systems are not just sales systems. Systems are the structure and processes that define every step of your business. When someone reaches out to you, one thing you can see about Teeka4 is we never accept orders through DMs. And that is because of a process. All of the orders are channeled through the website. So systems make your business predictable, because when you go to the website, you place an order, it automatically goes to a next process, and there are different processes up until it gets to you at your doorstep. So like I said, systems make a business predictable, and predictability builds trust, and trust drives revenue. So in business, predictability is gold. What you're trying to achieve all through your business is, what is my brand promise? This would lead to some of the core things I would speak about in terms of product research. We talk about branding. We talk about what exactly are the things needed to build your business up to the step where you can now scale it. So building a brand promise that sticks. So first of all, when we talk about branding, some people think branding means your logos or like the colors that represent your company. This is not about logos. It's about what people expect from you when you show up. What do they feel? How does your company make people feel? And some of the things that you want to get right. You want to get audience clarity. And what does audience clarity mean? Who are you for? Are you a beauty business? Some people try to chase everybody. You try to build a business to say like we're for all types of women. But the thing is, businesses that are successful start with very clearly who they are for. Saying you're building a business for women is not a niche. Say you're building a business for women with sensitive skin in humid cities. Let's say I'm building a business for women that live in cities where they have very high exposure to sunlight and they have sensitive skin. So now their skin barrier is always breaking, and now we are building products for that type of woman. Now that's a very clear audience. Someone that comes to your business already knows you are for them or you're not. Another thing to get right is emotional promise. What problem are you solving? Are you providing confidence to your customers? Are you providing trust, simplicity? You have to have a brand promise. So your brand promise is what people expect when they hear your name. So like I said, branding is not logos, it's not your packaging, it's not your aesthetics. A brand promise is an emotional contract that you're building with the customer. An example of this would be Coca-Cola. Now, when people buy a bottle of Coke and when people buy a bottle of Pepsi, I assure you that even though they might taste slightly the same, they feel different. Because there's a certain brand promise that Coca-Cola sells to the customer, and there's a certain brand promise that Pepsi sells. It's also the same thing around clothing. And with different companies, they all have different brand promises. Now, your brand promise, like I said, is what people expect when they hear your name. Is the difference between, I like that brand, and I trust that brand with my skin. So for beauty businesses, your promise might be clarity, it might be comfort, it might be transformation, whatever it is, you have to define it and you have to leave it at every single touch point. Because when people believe you're for them, they'll follow you anywhere. Another thing is point of view. What do you stand against? As a company, sometimes you might not know what you stand for. And to know what you stand for, it's important to know what you do not stand for. So as a business, what do you stand against? Do you stand against hype? Do you stand against skin bleaching? Do you stand against fake skincare results? That becomes your edge. You see companies where you start a beauty business and because you really want to create content, you go find some influencer that has videos. Probably they had a skin transformation. So you find them and you pay them to create content for you. And I mean, they create content for you. It looks good. But I mean, the customers know you were not existing at the point when this influencer had their skin transformation. So this is called fake results. And if you don't stand for anything, you stand for nothing. Another thing also is consistency. From how your page looks, your social media pages, to how your captions sound. Now, this is the part of branding that people focus on and they ignore the others. People ignore the point of view, the emotional promise, the audience clarity, and they focus on how their page looks, the aesthetic, how their captions sound, how their packaging looks. So this is also important, but it's not the most important thing. You have to be consistent in your branding, in consistent colors, consistent fonts, consistent captions. And when you're early, this might not matter so much. The other things matter more than this when you're early. But at scale, this matters. And now a framework for this that typically works for us is in building a brand promise. One thing you have to ask is, who do we help? We help who? What do we help them achieve? And when you're able to look at it from that perspective, and then you know how do you help them achieve that, and that will establish why they trust you. Why should they use you instead of every other company? That's your edge. So I'll be moving to the next slide. We'll be talking about starting a business versus scaling a business. But before that, I'll also just talk about product research. As a business starting out, because I know some of you in the comments, you're about to start a beauty business or you've currently been doing a beauty business and you want to scale it. Some things are very important. Nefe, please, can you adjust my slides? I think my slide is on the old presentation. All right, thank you. So product research is a growth strategy. One of the worst things you can do is launch what you love and not what people need. Beauty is emotional, but so is the feedback from your customers. So you have to be practical around running your business. Most people start businesses without asking their customers what they want. You'll be surprised about how people never really talk to their customers. They never really ask their customers, what exactly do you want? What exactly are we doing right? And what exactly are we doing wrong? People just never speak to their customers. The only time they speak to their customers is when a customer wants to place an order. And most businesses don't take feedback very important. They don't really try to ask people, what exactly made you repeat this purchase? What exactly makes you keep coming back? And so you need to be able to ask your customers, what's missing from our brand? What frustrates you about like the other brands you've used, and like what makes us stand out? You need to be able to read your comments on your page. You need to take negative feedback, take it very constructive, read your comments, scroll your complaints. And if you're a business that doesn't have customers to give you all of this feedback, one way I would advise you to do this is pain is very popular. Most people talk about their negative experience more than their positive experience. You see more negative reviews than positive reviews. So if you just go to your competitors, let's say I want to run like a beauty business. Say I want to scale, I want to sell skincare or makeup. I'll go to who are the top people selling makeup and skincare. I'll go through all of their comments. I want to see what people complain about. That's the only way you can find out what can be your unique differentiator. So check what exactly are people complaining about. I can also go to YouTube comments, go to Reddit, go to Twitter, places where people just talk. Pain is very public. Most of the time, you might not know all of the positive reviews that people give, but I assure you, negative reviews are very public. And when you listen, you don't just create a better company, you create better products, you build loyalty because people can feel when something was made with them in mind and not just for them. So I'll go over some of the common mistakes as a business. We've seen some mistakes some wholesalers make, and we would like to also just point out some of the common mistakes you can make as a business so you can know what to avoid. First of all, if you don't know your customer, nothing else matters. If you don't know who you're selling to, nothing matters. If you can't manage money, marketing wouldn't save you. If you ignore feedback, even your best product will fail. And I say this with love because the Nigerian beauty space is saturated with pretty businesses, people who want to skip the process, where they don't want to understand the fundamentals of a business, but they want the prestige that comes with owning a business. So starting a business is hard, and you need to understand having processes that work is equally hard. And you build that process by listening, by refining and staying clear on who you serve and how you want to serve them. Also, just to put it out there, you can always drop comments on questions you want to ask. So I'll just compile them and ask at the end of it. But going over starting and scaling. So I'll just take you through this very quickly. I would like to adjust the tab I'm sharing. I have a more updated version of that, so just give me a minute. Great. All right. All right. So I'll talk about starting versus scaling. Now, starting is about doing things that don't scale. If I was running a business today, also just to go over this again, just in case you didn't see it, like I said, product research is a growth strategy. Don't just create what you like, create what people are struggling to find. And what to get right in terms of product research and how to find out who you are as a company and what's your edge. You have to do problem interviews. Every single person here on this webinar has more than 15 friends. You either have, even if they're not your close friends, you know 15 people. If you ask 15 people, what skincare product have you struggled to find? What brands let you down? You get to know some of the pain points of your friends. And you can start by just building a company with the pain points of your friends. Let's move on to product gaps. If you check Google Trends, YouTube comments, Twitter rants, you see a lot of gaps because pain lives in public, like I said, people communicate more about the negative feedback they have than the positive feedback. Another part is packaging simplicity. Most people don't buy because they are confused. You have to speak to people like a friend, not a pharmacist. Don't speak to people from a professional point of view, like you're a professional in your field. You need to be very simple, ask people questions that you would answer like a friend. And the last part is testing and feedback loops. How do you launch? Most people also face this problem, and I'd just like to go over it in the next 1 minute. Sometimes you hear of people who always wanted to start a beauty business. They've been planning for 3 years, or some 2, some 1, and they've not started because sometimes you're obsessed with perfection and you're waiting for the right time, the right structure your business needs to have before you start. It's very important to tell you that nobody cares. Like, in reality, nobody cares. Whether you launch a business as a small Instagram page or you launch with a website, a web app, nobody really cares. All they care about is what they are coming to your platform to do. And if they're coming to shop for products, if they're coming to get certain grooming essentials, whatever, that's what they care about. So you need to be able to launch small, get feedback, iterate on the feedback. And sometimes showing your improvement process publicly builds community. And this is something I tell people, that as a company, if people can remember that they grew with this company, they remember when this company was a very small company and now you've grown significantly, they feel a stronger emotional connection to that business than the company that just sprung out of nowhere, looking perfect. They had a very beautiful website. They just launched a business with 70,000 followers. How? Where did the 70,000 people come from? So sometimes you're going to see it pays you to launch small, get feedback, iterate, and build upon those feedback loops. So a framework here that works is launch, listen, learn, tweak, and relaunch. Nobody really cares how many times you launch your business. If you launch a business 10 times in a year, nobody's coming to ask you, why do you keep relaunching your business? It's your business at the end of the day. So the best beauty brands feel like they were made with the customer, not for them. And now, going over, I think I've gone over some of the common mistakes. I'll just go over it again. First of all, not having clarity on who your target customer is a common mistake. One of the things I've never actually seen is a beauty brand that focuses on one actual skin concern. Just imagine you had like a certain business that was built just to battle acne, or a certain business that was built just for people with oily skin. Sometimes people are scared to niche so low, but I think like those are the best type of businesses. For example, if a business has a target audience of just people with oily skin, you'll be surprised how many people struggle with that. And also poor financial management. Like I said, if you don't know how to manage your money, marketing would never solve that, because you keep on generating more revenue, but then you're spending money on irrelevant things. And one of the ways we've seen businesses lose money is uncontrolled inventory buys. You see, a lot of businesses have products that expire in their warehouse because there's no process around procurement. They don't structure their inventory and they don't understand margins. So this is one thing I'd always advise every business to really understand: how you purchase. Don't be deceived into making purchases that are not structured, in terms of buying products that there are no clear indicators that they are fast movers. Another thing would be ignoring customer feedback and data, where you see some people, they get negative feedback from a customer, and do you know what they do? They block their Instagram comments, or then they block the exact customer that made that feedback. And like one of the ways we've channeled that at Teeka4 is, for every time there's a negative comment, all of the top executives in the group, we address this on the group. So we take negative complaints very seriously, because we know a customer that comes to give a negative complaint has a potential of turning around to giving you one of the best positive reviews if it can solve the problem that they keep complaining about. So take negative feedback very seriously. Never ignore customer feedback and data. And the last part would be just giving you an example of how uncontrolled inventory buys can affect a business. Example, a brand buying too much stock and it expired because you have no SOPs around procurement. I'd also go over starting a business versus scaling a business. So first of all, when you're starting a business, you're probably doing things that don't scale. You're getting your first 10 to 100 customers. And that would look like registering your business with CAC, if you're manufacturing a product, with NAFDAC, if necessary. And what would that look like? Starting is about doing things that don't scale. Like I said, calling friends. Some of your first deliveries might have to be done by you. Some of your DMs might have to be answered by you. So scaling is different. Scaling is when you're building systems that can run with or without you. At Teeka4, we had to switch from how do I get this done to how can anyone on the team get this done the same way every time. Because growth as a business, growth is not a moment. Growth is a repeatable process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So first of all, getting your first 10 to 100 customers what would that look like? So you'd be building product from customer conversation. So if I was starting a beauty business today, before I make my early procurement, also just to put this out there, some of you might be already part of the Teeka4 Plus program, where we have a community of wholesalers that we provide resources and tools to, and they're able to make procurement at wholesale prices. But a lot of the value that we provide is around just understanding some of the market research that we do for them. And that would mean we've spoken to a lot of customers, had customer conversations to know what are fast-moving products. And people get to shop those fast-moving products from us. So we are building products from customer conversations. The next part would be, how do you set up your branding? Now, things that you need to set up would include branding, packaging, payment tools, and I think a lot of the payment tools conversations have been done by the Paystack team at the initial part of this webinar. But for branding, this is very important. You need to define a unique brand that you have. So how does your brand look? Do you have a logo? What are your colors? How do you want to sound? You want to sound very friendly. That should also be involved in every touch point, your captions, how you respond to customers, and you have to live to that brand. You also have to be able to test price points, try multiple price points as to define what your margins would be, test different delivery channels. We have great partners like Scalable for delivery, where you're able to also aggregate most of the delivery partners, so you don't focus on the things that are because logistics is a very stressful part of business to manage. So we have partners like Scalable that help to aggregate all of that, and then you have to get niche clarity, and this would be on knowing who you are serving and how exactly do you serve them. And the next would be making systems that do what people used to do manually and individually. So now, how do I want, if I have one staff that does this so great, how do I make sure every staff can do this particular task the same way my top flyer would do it? That would mean you create SOPs for fulfillment, SOPs for customer service, for returns. You have to define what you need to hire or outsource. So some companies, they try to hire for all of the parts, all of the departments of their company. We often think that is not very important, especially in running a beauty business. You could outsource a lot and hire for what are your core fundamentals. And that would mean you have to define, do I want to keep my marketing team in-house, or do I want to outsource for that? Do I want to keep my logistics in-house, or do I want to outsource for that? Do I want to keep my inventory stock, which is procurement? Do I want to keep that in-house, or do I want to outsource for that? You also get to build supply chain alternatives. A huge part of a mistake that businesses make is being heavily reliant on one supplier. Another part would be using CRM, tracking your sales and tracking your feedback. It's very important that every business has a CRM. There are multiple tools like that. We usually recommend Zoho because it's very cost effective. So using Zoho to manage most of your CRM needs are very important because you get to pay in Naira. It's also very cost effective for you starting out as a small business. And then you can track all of your sales, track all of your customer feedback, and then know what are places where you need to improve on as a business. And the goal on doing all of this, your goal is to turn what worked once into what works every day. And it's important that you know starting is about trying. So you're not going to get everything right the first time or the second time or the third time. But scaling is about repeating what worked when you were starting. So starting, you might have to do it yourself, but scaling, you're designing it so others can do it too. You don't scale vibes, like I said, you scale systems. Also, on my final slide, I'll just be talking about building a community. Now, every great brand starts by understanding who they serve. Now, once you've understood who you serve, you don't need to be for everyone. You just need to be exactly right for a target audience. And now, if you're building for dry skin, you need to say it boldly. Most of the products that we have here, I mean, these are general skincare products, but we hyper focus on products for people who have dry skin. If you're building a beauty business for working women who don't have time to do 12-step routines, so want to get products that are very easily structured into like 4 product routines, that could be your advantage because there are just a lot of customers who are working class women who don't have that time. So building community around the customers you serve is very important. Community also would drive how you create content. It will drive how you speak to your customers, where you speak to your customers, what type of ads you run, and all of that. So product market fit is never about luck. It's about listening. It's about refining and repeating until your customer feels like you built it just for them. So to finalize this, because I'd like to hand this over back to Nefe after this, I'd just like to tell you the future of beauty businesses in Nigeria belongs to the brands who take structure very seriously, to the business founders who build not just content, but systems, who build not just community, but build consistency. So whether you're just starting out or you're trying to scale, you need to ask yourself, if I stepped away from my business for 2 weeks, would anything still work? If the answer is no, it's time to build a system. And you don't have to do it alone, and that's why we're here. If you're part of the Teeka4 Plus community, we'll also be providing you a lot of these resources. Most of my slides, you'd get it as long as you registered for this event. We'd also provide a lot of resources from the Paystack team, from the Teeka4 team, and also from some of our core partners that provide you some very great tools to starting and scaling your business. Thank you very much. I'd like to entertain questions at this point. You can just drop your questions in the chat. I'll hand this over to Nefe. Hi, Nefe.
Hello. Did you guys miss me? Thanks so much for that, Jude. That was great. Okay, so I've seen a couple of questions. I'll answer some of the questions that have come up first, and then I'll round out with what I plan to say. So hold on, let's just scroll really quickly. I think there's some questions around if you have to pay for the storefront that I showed. No, you don't. Like, we provide all of that for free. We just charge a percentage on the transactions that we process on your behalf. I think a few links have already been posted, but if you go to paystack.com/pricing, the prices are there. I'm not choosing not to say it because I'm hiding it. It's just that there are a lot and depends on the category. But typically we would never charge more than 2,000 naira per transaction. So that's like the absolute maximum we would ever charge for anything. But obviously we charge a lot less as well. And yeah, so what was the other question? If you don't have a business account yet, so if you're not a CAC, you don't have a business bank account, that's fine. You can still set up a Paystack as a registered business. A link has been posted on how to do that. It's just that you have a lifetime value of 8 million naira. So once you've processed 8 million naira worth of transactions, or you've sold 8 million naira worth of products, you have to sign up as a registered business. It's a regulatory requirement. We get fined if we're supporting businesses that are not registered but doing what they consider high values. So that's just something else to keep in mind. So Khadija asked, are there tools available to assist vendors with running tailored and personalized campaigns and also supporting the use of CRM tools? So you can work with a business like Bumper, for example. So Bumper is one of our partners as well that we work closely with, and they really support businesses like you, startups. So, I'm not going to be here and say, oh, use Paystack for everything. There are things that we can and we can't do. And when, we want to start doing CRM tools and things like that, Bumper is great to sign up with. So they would happily help you. In terms of, so Paystack handles the payments and you can deliver from your end. Yes. Bella, you can show my screen now. So Drew talked about this briefly already, but we have like an integration called ShipBubble. Now, this is where I guess there's some technology needed but you can install them on your site. What Shipbubble does is Shipbubble has a bunch of different logistics companies. So whether it's GIG, Chowdeck, whoever, and you can work with them to have multiple logistics partners and now pick who you want to use. But essentially, we help you kind of set up a mini site, display your product, collect the money for your customer and send the money to you. And then how you now want to get that product to the customer, you can handle that. But we have Shipbubble available to just make that a little bit easier. Because I do know that logistics is probably one of the more painful parts of running an e-commerce business, which is why we try to integrate with people that are trying to solve that logistics problem. What else? Does Paystack offer consultation or guidance for new businesses looking to onboard their platform and scale effectively? Yes, we do. So if you reach out to support@paystack.com with your issue, or that you want to sign up, tell them a bit about your business, they'll route you to the right team who you can set up a call with. We also have, there's not a single thing discussed today that we don't have a support article for. We have a user manual that covers everything step by step with screenshots, with guidelines, with videos, everything you need. So there's also that available. If you go on our website, paystack.com, there's a phone number as well if you want to call someone to reach out. So like all that support is available. Okay, so I think that's it on the questions directed at me. So the last thing I want to talk about quickly, because I know we're almost done, is some of the perks that you can get as a startup with Paystack. So there's a very, very long list here. I won't go through everything. I'll just highlight about 4 to 5 that I think are relevant for the people in the room here today. So they cut across many different things. I'll highlight Tix Africa, for example. So if you're a Paystack user, you can get up to 20% off on Tix Pro plans. So, if you're not already a Pro plan user. So if, you have any events coming up and you want to host it on Tix, you can get some discounts there. Another one that could be quite exciting is Printivo. So you're getting started, you want to have business cards, you want to have flyers, whatever it is, you can get those discounts as well on those offer. We Create is a good one too, if you want to get branded merch for like events or customers, and it's available in a few countries as well. If you just want somewhere to work from, maybe your house is a bit noisy, you can get a desk at Workstation at a discount. If you need professional headshots, again, to just help with your credibility, we have discounts at the photo studio at EJ Work. So these are just some examples of some perks that we like to give people that are starting up and just need a little bit of support. So Bella will paste the link there. It's the Paystack Startup Bundle. You can reach out to support and they'll show you how to get set up. You contact the team directly here so they can show you how to get support. So that's it from me today. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. If not, I will hand back over to Jude.
All right. So just very quickly, I'll just answer 2 questions we have here from Olaitan and Pascal. So just to go over the first question, what are key indicators that a brand has scaled too soon? And that way they can make a reassessment. This is such a great question because scaling too soon often feels exciting, but usually comes with like cracks underneath. So I can give you some of the pointers of red flags that make you know you've scaled your business too soon. First of all, if there's operational chaos that increases as your orders increase. So example, if more orders are leading to like more mistakes, more delays, more customer complaints, then you've not built a system that can handle more orders. So you've just added volume to this function. Secondly, if cash is consistently tight, even though your sales are up, so that means you're scaling expenses faster than revenue. And this is often due to poor inventory planning or premature hires. So this second red flag, third red flag would be customer experience declines. if you can't respond on time, packaging is inconsistent, or repeat customers stop returning, that means the foundation of the company isn't holding the weight of your expansion. And lastly, it would be if you don't have documented processes, if your team relies on you being around for things to work, you haven't scaled, just multiply tasks. So what do you do if you scale too soon or you scale prematurely? You need to pause, rebuild your SOPs, automate what you can, identify the key metrics of your company that you need to track: cost per acquisition, your repeat purchase rate, your order turnaround time. Then you scale again with structure. I guess that answers your question, Pascal. For Olaiton, your question here is, as a small business, do you think it's wise to accept investors? There's this uncertainty of being able to meet up with the ROI and repayment. This is an important question, and I'll be honest, not every business needs investors. And here's how to think about it. Only take investment if you validated your product and you have a clear path to growth. You need capital to scale what's already working, not really to figure things out. I think as much as possible, try to bootstrap until you've figured out that you have a business, because sometimes you have an idea, you don't have a business yet. You need to understand the terms and expectations clearly, especially around all of the different types of investments in terms of equity versus debt versus revenue-based funding. So things to consider: raising investment, it's a business, so it's not free money. ROI pressure is real. Most investors want a return in a certain time, so that means the business must be designed to scale profitably. That's why I said make sure you validated your product and you have a clear path to growth before raising. Alternative options exist. I usually advise people do an FFF, a friends and family fund, and apply for grants. There are things like the Tony Elumelu Foundation, where they give out grants to small businesses. Also explore reinvesting profits from your business very quickly. So don't take money to look successful. Take it when you have a plan, a system, and the confidence that that capital will unlock measurable and scalable growth. I hope that answers your question, Pascal. Hi, does that answer your question? I think you can just respond in the chat if I was able to address it. Okay, I think I'll just take on one last question before we wrap this up. And the last question here is, as a small business, what are the core 5 pillars I should focus on for a strong foundation? For a small beauty business or small business, the path to sustainable growth isn't in doing everything. So I'll just give you 5 core things. First is product market fit. And that's, do people actually want what I'm selling, and would they buy it again? So you need to build products around a real need or gap, not just trends. Gather constant feedback and use it to tweak your offerings. And if no one repurchases or recommends you, you need to fix who you are as a company. Second is strong brand and positioning. What does my brand stand for and who is it for? Define a clear identity, define your brand promise, what problem do you solve emotionally and practically, and build trust through consistency. The third pillar would be sales and distribution. How are people discovering my product? How are people ordering my product? How are people receiving my product? Start with 1 or 2 channels: Instagram DMs, a Paystack storefront, or WhatsApp. Focus on speed plus service. In Nigeria, fulfillment and accessibility are just as important as the product you're selling. And build a simple system for order tracking and delivery. Know ways to track every order, how to track how long you're taking to deliver orders. It reduces stress and helps you scale faster. Fourth would be very important: financial discipline. Do I know where my money is going and what it's doing for me? Separate personal from business accounts. Track your cash flow weekly. Know your profit margins. These are all things that Paystack helps you with. If you're running Paystack for your payments, you can just, it's all structured for you technically. Avoid the pressure to look big. Focus on being profitable first, then visible. And the last part, the last core pillar for me would be customer experience and retention. How do I turn, like Nefe said, it's better to have 100 customers that love you than 1,000 customers that like you. How do I turn one-time buyers into loyal fans? Follow up after every purchase. You'll be surprised at how much money is left on the table because people don't follow up. People don't ask customers after every purchase, ask them for reviews, ask them for tips, make customers feel seen. Then turn your buyers into your marketers, share their testimonials, celebrate them. It's 5 times cheaper to get a customer, to keep a customer than to get a new one. Always remember this. It's 5 times cheaper to keep a customer than to get a new one. Because some people would get a bad review from a customer and just say, just ignore them. We have like hundreds or thousands of other customers. You need to realize customer retention is very important. It's 5 times cheaper to retain than to acquire. That makes the experience worth repeating. So on that, I'll just tell you, build a deep, not just wide business structure. A business with 100 loyal customers and structure is stronger than one with 1,000 followers and no system. Thank you very much. I wouldn't be able to address all of the questions because we're already way past time. But for every other question, I'll most likely take it all up. And I have your mails. Most likely we'll build a community around this because this was very interactive. And I think the last one would just be, hi Nefe. I think people have missed you. Let them see your face one last time before we wrap up. But this was very good. I hope this has been very exciting and insightful for you. We've shared a lot of success stories with the She Glows, She Grows campaign. That shows you like a lot of women who have done great things, like Banke Meshida Lawal, who started from being a makeup artist in Unilag and has been the makeup artist for every president since 1999 to date, and has built one of the most global makeup brands out of Nigeria called BM Pro. So these are very great success stories we've seen from women who have identified how structure is important for their business. And we really hope that we have the next generation of women that would feature on campaigns that will be breaking frontiers, and men also, but just this is a campaign centered around women. So the men here, I mean, build great businesses also. But to everyone here, I'm really rooting for you. I'm really hoping you get to build that type of business that we'll do webinars about in the future. Thank you very much and have a great day. Cheers.
Thanks, Jude. Thanks, everyone.